Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I brought my best friend, for my best friend, for my best friend. Alright, so today I'm pretty much going to show y'all how to do some ballie styles on your younger child. If you want to learn, just keep on watching and I'll show you in the next clip. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I brought my best friend, for my best friend, for my best friend. Alright, so today I'm pretty much going to show y'all how to do some ballie styles on your younger child. If you want to learn, just keep on watching and I'll show you in the next clip. Right before you actually start, you want to make sure that you have a model and you want to make sure that you have some ballies. Another thing that I actually made sure that I brought today was some barrettes. I love barrettes. I'm really not too much of a fan of barrettes over beads. I love beads better, but in this style, I'm just going to show you how to do ballies and a barrette style. Alright everyone, as I mentioned before, I'm going to do a barrette and ballie style, something quick and easy for you moms that thinks it's extra hard to actually do this quick and easy style. You might have a client that might come to you, they might have some knots. You want to always start by just detangling. You can use a comb, you can use a brush, just make sure that you're not hurting the client. In this case, I'm using a mannequin, so I don't think she mind how I'm combing her hair. But like I said before, keep in mind how you are detangling the hair because your client might not like the way you're combing it. Okay, so what I like to do, like I said, you just go and start detangling. Just comb the hair out. Make sure all the loose ends are detangled. And I still have braids in the back, so I'll try to just make this as easy as possible with this front section, just so that you guys can actually see a little better. All depending on the style that you want. Depends on where you would place your partings. In this style, I'm pretty much just going to do something nice, simple, and easy. I'm going to start with the back. Like I said, I have braids on the other side, so I'll try to just work with this back section. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring the camera just a little closer just so that you can see it a little better. Alright, and then I'll just spin the mannequin just a little just so that you can see. Alright, like I mentioned before, I'll just clip these braids off to the side just so you can't see them or it gets in my way. Alright, and you just want to just go ahead and detangle. Like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you have some ballies. I have all different color ballies, but you want to make sure that you have some ballies. And also you want to make sure that you have some barrettes. You want to have barrettes. The style, you will need ballies and barrettes. And another thing, you would just need a moisturizer. In this case, I have a olive oil moisturizer and I have a Shea Miracle moisturizer. I try to use moisturizers when I'm doing ponytails. It makes it easier and you make sure that, you know, the hair is staying hydrated while it's in style. Alright. When I do ponytails, I like to make them within an inch width apart of each other. Has to be within an inch. And then what I'll do is just take and just clip the top part of it up. Make sure that you have all the hair secured. You don't want any loose hair coming down while you're trying to work with a clean section. If, you know, you still didn't get it clean enough, you can then take another clip and just clip it up. Alright, now, This section right here will create 2 ballies. All right, it'll be 2 ballies. So what I'll do, I'll just section that part in half. Then again, like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you have clips off to the side so that you can always clip that hair to stay out of your way. When doing hairstyles, you want to make sure that you're working with a nice clean space. You don't have little hairs that's not supposed to be in the ballies on this side. I'm just going to do clear ballies just to make it easier for you guys to see. All right, and what I would recommend you do first, like I always recommend, you just take and detangle the hair. All right, next up, you would then use a moisturizer. And like I mentioned before in my previous videos, a little goes a long way. You can probably use a little more than that. But like I said, little goes a long way. All right, so what you want to actually do, you want to just, like I mentioned before in my previous videos, you want to make sure that all that product is evenly distributed towards each strand. All right. Then like mentioned before, if you feel like you're not working a product in enough with your hands, you can always take a comb and just comb it in. All right. Now, when doing a ballie, you want to make sure that you're not putting a ballie too close up on the scalp so that it hurts the client. But you want to make sure that it's not too loose to the point that you'll see it fall. Now I'll show you the way I would do it. I like to just kind of take my thumb, take one part of the ballie. I would rest the ballie right on the scalp, and then I would close it with my thumb. This other loose ballie, you will then wrap around that first one. Like I said before, make sure that your tension isn't too tight. You don't want to hurt the client or hurt your kid. Then you want to make sure that it's just placed. Make sure that the ballies are placed together. You don't want one ballie to be this way, one being up here. Make sure that they're even. All right. You can even get fancy, and you can do a twist. So you'll separate them into 2. And then you'll go and twist. And then you twist. And then you twist. And then you twist. Then you twist. And then you just keep going all the way down to the bottom. And one thing that you can do, if you don't want to put a barrette, you can just take and grab another ballie. So you'll grab another ballie. And then same thing, you'll go ahead and take that first ball and you'll hold it with your thumb. And this ballie here at the bottom, you can, tie this one just a little tighter just to ensure that it doesn't move. It's not as, you don't really have to worry too much about this bottom one like the first one because it's not giving them any tension on their scalp. And then from there, you'll just go and you'll let it go. Okay, so that'll be your first ballie. Let me move this back just a little so that you can see. All right. And then I'll go ahead and just show you again. Like I said before, this is the second section. You want to always use a moisturizer. This is one of my favorite moisturizers, so I prefer to use this one. Like I mentioned before, a little goes a long way. You never need to use a whole lot of product. That works. All right, and then before you actually apply it to the hair, you want to make sure that you're rubbing your hands together. Make sure all that product is evenly distributed into each hair strand. All right, and then like I mentioned before, you want to make sure if your fingers are not blending that product good enough, you want to make sure that you're using a comb or a brush to smooth the hair evenly. All right, and then like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're not bringing that ballie so tight on the scalp, but you want to make sure that it's there and it's not, too loose on the scalp. Like I mentioned before, you want to take that first ballie and kind of just hold your thumb up on the roots. And then I always go towards the left and just loosely tighten. Just loosely tighten. And there you go. And then, like I mentioned on the ends, you can always go and just take your comb and you can smooth those ends out. Nothing's worse than trying to do a braid or a twist and your ends aren't smooth. You will be able to tell. And then, like I mentioned before, you just want to separate the hair in between two parts, and then you want to twist. Twist, 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 twist. Until you get down at the end. And then, like I mentioned before, you just want to go ahead and take a ballie and hold it right at the end. Put your thumb there to secure the ballie, and then you wrap. Wrap, 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 and secure. Now, it might twist a little, just how mine's twist, but it's okay. It will be okay. All right, and then we'll go down to the next section. This section, I'm just going to show you how to do a twist, but then I'll show you how to put a barrette on it. Same thing. You'll go ahead and just take that inch in parting. You don't want to take too small of a section because the more ballies, the more pain you have to worry about the kids dealing with when laying down. I always try to think about my client because I know the feeling. Ballies are so uncomfortable when you have to lay on them. Alright, and like I mentioned before, you just want to take your comb. You want to make sure that you comb everything out. Everything is evenly distributed. Then again, you want to take your moisturizer. And you want to just go ahead and apply. Like I mentioned before, little goes a long way. No need to use so much product. And this is enough product that I can, make sure that both sections get it. Alright, and like I said before, you want to just make sure that you're evenly distributing the product throughout your hair strands. If you need more, you can always get more. Alright, and then what we're going to do, we're just going to take our comb, we're going to go ahead and comb it down and section right down the middle. Okay. Alright. And what I'll do, I'll go ahead and just clip this other section off to the side. And we'll work with this front section. Alright. Now, we'll go again with another ballie. What we'll do, I'll go ahead and do blue this time because we did the clear last time. I just want to show you a difference. So we'll do blue. Alright. Like I mentioned before, you want to just go ahead and secure the hair in your hand. And I normally hold the same amount of tension because I'll use my thumb to hold that ballie up on the root. Now you'll use your right hand, but you'll swing left. And like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that it's up on the scalp, but it's not too tight. I normally go around 3 times. 3 times is normally enough. Then you'll take your comb, like I mentioned before. You'll make sure that you smooth those ends. And what we'll do another twist. So I'll go ahead and just twist, 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 twist. And then instead of me doing a ballie on the end, I'm actually going to do a barrette. Just so that you can see. Now, twist with barrettes normally makes it a little difficult because the ballie makes it, swing a little more. So the barrette's normally, not laying too nice. But there you are. Which you'll like, I'll show you in the next one a little slower how to wrap that barrette around the ends of the plait. Just so that you can see it a little better. Again, we'll work with another blue ballie. Like I said, just try to gather that hair up in your hand as much as possible. Then what you want to do, you want to just place your ballie right under your thumb. And then what you want to do is just wrap to the left. So you'll wrap once, you'll wrap twice, and you'll wrap 3 times. Well, it's more like a half a time on that third one. Alright, and then what you'll do, you'll go ahead and just start loosely detangling. And you'll go ahead and twist it. And then from there, the best way I find to use a barrette is to take the end part and you wrap and wrap and wrap. Just a little bit of the end. And then what I like to do is use my thumb. I use my thumb a lot. And then you'll push that top part up. And then you'll just clip it in place. Like I mentioned before, it might swing. That's okay if it swings. It'll be alright. You have time at the end of the hairstyle to, tweak it a little bit. If you need to fix anything, you can fix it. One thing that I like about ballies and barrettes to give it that neat look. A lot of kids, are slowly getting away from barrettes and ballies. I'm not understanding why. They're pretty cute. Stay young as possible. Don't try to grow up too fast. Growing up too fast only leads to the worst. Alright, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just show you one last section then. Like I mentioned before, you want to use a leave-in moisturizer. I like Shea Miracle. It just works out perfect for me. Alright, and then from there, like I mentioned before, you want to just emulsify that product in your hands. Make sure it's all evenly distributed so when you apply it to the strand, you don't have globs of product in one spot. And then like mentioned before, you might think that you have it all, evenly distributed into that part, and it might not, be all the way blended. So here's where your comb comes in hand. Just take your comb and just part it on out. Now, because this is a thicker section, I am going to use 3 ballies instead of 2. But what I'll do, I'll just part the rest off to the side. Now this way I'm going to show you how to braid it. Alright, so we used the clear in the bottom, we used the blue, now we'll use the red. Okay, one thing I like about the ballies, these ballies are pretty easy to use because they have never been used before. And then like I mentioned before, you'll just wrap 3 times. 1, 2, and this third one is just like a half a wrap. It's really not a whole wrap. And then, like I mentioned before, just take your comb and detangle. Now, instead of you just pulling it apart just 2 sections, this time you're going to separate it into 3 sections. Okay? Now, it's kind of easy for a lot of people to braid, and then it's a little difficult for other people. What I tend to, how I like to explain it is to grab 3 sections, and however you're pretty much comfortable with it, I always start with the first one and I always wrap it under the second one. But whatever works out for you, just try to have it work for you. Alright, so you start out with the 3 sections, and what I like to do is just try to stay up as close as possible to the ballie, because if you lose tension even a little bit, you will tell. Alright. And then from here, like I mentioned before, you want to just make sure that you braid all the way down to the end. Make sure the ends are secured. And just like the first one, I'm going to use a ballie to secure the end. Now, same way. You just hold the ballie with your thumb, and then you wrap. So kind of take the ballie, and then kind of wrap on the ends. Now, even me wrapping the ballie on the end, I struggle with. So don't get upset if the ballie tends after you wrap it, it falls. Just do it again. Do it again. Alright, and again, I'm just going to show you 2 last styles and the way I do it. And then from there, we'll go ahead and close out. Because I feel like at this point, everybody watching should know how to do ballies and barrettes. But I'll do the last 2, and then we'll go ahead and see how that worked out for you. Now, we're going to just go ahead and use another ballie. Like I mentioned before, take that ballie and just rest it right at the root and secure with your thumb. Then you'll go ahead and take the other part of the ballie and you'll wrap to the left. So wrap to the left. wrap to the left, and half a wrap and secure at the top. All right, and like I mentioned before, you want to just start out by just detangling the ends, just to make sure that the ends are detangled for you. Then we'll just go ahead and start the braid. Now, like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that your fingers are nice and close. You're not sliding too fast, because that will create loose tension. You want to make sure that everything is as neat and as precise as possible. All right, and then we're down at the end. I'll do one more ballie, and then I'll show you how to do the barrette on the braid one. Like I mentioned before, you want to just take your hand, hold that ballie on the ends, and just wrap. Wrap, 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 and secure. All right, and then I'll show you that last one, just so you have that idea on how to secure with a barrette. I mean, same concept, it's just, I'll just show you. All right, and here's our last ballie that we're actually going to do. And like I mentioned before, you want to take that one ball, secure it with your thumb, and wrap to the left. Wrap to the left, wrap to the left, wrap to the left, wrap to the left. Alright. And then you secure at the top. And then from there, you want to just take your comb, you want to detangle the ends. And again, like I said, section into 3 sections, do, and do. And then you want to just start braiding. Braid, 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 braid. And then just like we did the twist with the barrette, we're going to do the braid with the barrette. And like I mentioned with the twist, you want to start with the smaller end and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap. And then you get this bigger part and you want to like bend it forward, and you'll hear that clip when you know it's ready. All right, so there we are. There we are. Today you learned how to do ballies and barrettes, just that easy. Now, what I will recommend that you do, just because most people, you know, you might come across their hair might be fine. Some people might have a thicker texture. I always just mist it with a holding spray, just so that we're okay. You can go and grab a bonnet. You can grab one of these. It's like a little head wrap. But make sure that when they get in the shower, you use a shower cap. Shower caps are a plus. You never want to just, you know, let anybody, you know, just freshly done hair, you know, never just hop in the shower without a head wrap. Okay? All right. And that's the end of the video. This is Keezy Styles, and thanks for watching me. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Say bye, Faith. Say bye. Bye.